Niccolo Machiavelli did not write a book about how the world should be. He wrote a book about how the world actually is. Written in 1513, The Prince is the most infamous political treatise in human history. The word Machiavellian has become a synonym for evil, manipulation, and deceit. But if you strip away the moral outrage, you will find a chillingly accurate description of how power is acquired, maintained, and lost. Machiavelli argued that traditional morality, kindness, honesty, and generosity might make you a good person, but it will make you a dead ruler. If you want to survive in a world full of wicked men, you must learn how not to be good. The foundation of Machiavelli's philosophy is the brutal separation of ethics from politics. Before him, philosophers like Plato and Aristotle believed that a leader's primary job was to be virtuous. Machiavelli looked at history and laughed. He noticed that the rulers who tried to be universally good were quickly destroyed by those who were willing to be ruthless. He wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good. Therefore, a prince must know how to use both law and force. He must be like the centaur, half man, half beast. To survive the beastly nature of politics, a ruler must embody two specific animals, the lion and the fox. The lion represents raw power and physical force. A lion can easily frighten away the wolves. But the lion is stupid. It cannot recognize traps. The fox, on the other hand, represents cunning and deception. The fox can recognize traps, but it cannot fight off the wolves." Machiavelli warns that a leader who only relies on the lion will eventually walk into a trap, and a leader who only relies on the fox will be crushed by brute force. To maintain power, you must be a fox to recognize the traps, and a lion to frighten the wolves. You must be willing to break your promises when keeping them puts you at a disadvantage. This brings us to the most famous question in the book. Is it better for a leader to be loved or feared? Machiavelli answers that ideally, you should be both. But because human nature is fickle, selfish, and cowardly, it is almost impossible to maintain both. If you have to choose, it is much safer to be feared than loved. Love is a bond of obligation that men will break whenever it serves their own advantage. But fear is maintained by a dread of punishment that never fails. However, there is a massive caveat. A prince must inspire fear in such a way that he avoids hatred. If your people hate you, they will conspire against you, and no amount of military force can protect you from a unified, hateful populace. You avoid hatred by never touching the property or the women of your subjects. As Machiavelli coldly observes, men forget the death of their father sooner than the loss of their inheritance. Ultimately, The Prince is a manual for navigating reality. Machiavelli introduces the concept of virtù, not Christian virtue, but martial brilliance, adaptability, and an iron will. A leader with virtù can conquer fortuna, the unpredictable goddess of luck and chaos. In the modern world, this book isn't just for dictators. It is for anyone navigating a corporate hierarchy, a competitive market, or a cutthroat negotiation. It is a reminder that good intentions are useless without the power to execute them, and that ignoring the dark side of human nature is the fastest way to become its victim.